their life the same as before. They still did not believe that the flood would come. They must have laughed more than ever. But soon, can you guess what happened? They stopped laughing. All of a sudden, water began to fall. It poured down from the sky as when you pour water from a bucket. Noah had been right. But, yeah, it was too late now for anybody else to get into the ark. Remember, the door had been closed tight by Jehovah God. Soon, all the low ground was covered. The water became like big rivers. It pushed over trees and rolled around big stones and made a lot of noise. The people were afraid. They climbed up higher ground. Oh, how they wished they had listened to Noah and got into the ark when the door was still open for them. But now it was too late. The water kept getting higher and higher and higher. And can you guess how long that happened? For 40 days and 40 nights, the water poured out of the sky. Can you imagine? It rose up the sides of the mountains, and soon even the tallest mountains were covered. So just as God had said, all the people and animals outside the ark, they died, guys. They died. But everyone inside was safe. Noah and his sons had done a good job building the ark. The water lifted it up and it floated right on top of the water. Then one day, after the rain stopped falling, the sun began to shine. What a sight it was. There was just one big ocean everywhere, and the only thing that could be seen was the ark floating on top. The giants that we talked about were gone now. No more would there be around to hurt people. All of them, they died, along with their mothers and the rest of the bad people. But you have a question, I bet. What happened to their fathers, you say? The fathers of the giants were not really human people like us. They were angels that had come down to live as men on earth. So when the flood came, they did not die with the rest of the people. They stopped using the human bodies they had made and went back to heaven as angels. But this is the thing, guys. They were no longer allowed to be part of the family of the other angels of God. So they became the angels of Satan. In the Bible, they are called demons. God now made a wind blow, and the waters of the flood began to go down. 5 months later, the ark came to rest on the top of a mountain. Many more days passed, and those inside the ark could look out and see the tops of the mountains. The waters kept on going down and down and down. Then Noah let a black bird called a raven out of the ark. It would fly away for a while and then it would come back. Because, can you guess why it kept coming back? Because it could not find a good place to land. It kept doing this. Each time it returned, it would rest on the ark. Now Noah wanted to see if the waters had run off the earth. So next, he sent a dove out of the ark. But the dove came back too, because it did not find a place to stay. Noah sent it out a second time, and it brought back an olive leaf in its beak. So Noah knew then that the waters had gone down. Yeah. Noah sent out the dove a third time, and finally it found a dry place to live. Now God spoke to Noah. And you're wondering what he said. I'll tell you. He said, go out of the ark and take your whole family and the animals with you. They had been inside the ark for more than a whole year, guys. A whole year. So we can just imagine how happy they were to be outside again and to just be alive. Bible Stories for Kids Part 2. The Flood to the Deliverance from Egypt. Only 8 people survived the flood, but in time they increased to number many thousands. Then, 352 years after the flood, Abraham was born. We learn how God kept his promise by giving Abraham a son named Isaac. Then, of Isaac's 2 sons, Jacob was chosen by God. Jacob had a big family of 12 sons and some daughters. Jacob's 10 sons hated their younger brother Joseph and sold him into slavery in Egypt. Later, Joseph became an important ruler of Egypt. When a bad famine came, Joseph tested his brothers to see whether they had a change of heart. Finally, Jacob's whole family, the Israelites, moved to Egypt. This happened 290 years after Abraham was born. For the next 215 years, the Israelites lived in Egypt. After Joseph died, they became slaves there. In time, Moses was born, and God used him to deliver the Israelites from Egypt. In all, 857 years of history are covered in Part 2. Bible Stories for Kids, story number 11, The First Rainbow. Do you know the first thing Noah did when he and his family came out of the ark? Can you guess? He made an offering or a gift to God. Noah offered the gift of animals to thank God for saving his family from the great flood. Do you think Jehovah was pleased with the gift? Yes, he was. And so he promised Noah that he would never destroy the world again by a flood. But soon the land was all dried off, and Noah and his family began a new life outside of that ark. And God blessed them and told them this: you must have many children, and you must increase in numbers until people live all over the earth. But later, when people would hear about this great flood, they might be afraid that a flood like that would happen again. So God gave something that would remind people of his promise never to flood the whole earth again. Do you know what he gave to remind them? It was a rainbow. A rainbow is often seen in the sky when the sun shines after it has rained, and rainbows may have many beautiful colors. Have you ever seen one? Can you name some of the colors in a rainbow? And then, guess what? This is what God said: I promise that never again will all people and animals be destroyed by a flood. I am putting my rainbow in the clouds, and when the rainbow appears, I will see it and remember this promise I have made of mine. So when you see a rainbow, kids, what should it remind you of? Yes, God's promise that he will never destroy the world again by a great flood. You were just listening to Teachable Moments with April podcast. I truly hope you enjoyed this episode. We invite you to stay connected with us on the other social media platforms of ours, which is TikTok, Pinterest, Instagram, Threads, and YouTube. Also, we'd like to invite you to check out our official podcast landing page on podpage.com/Teachable Moments with April to see all our content in one place and leave personal messages, feedback, and more.